America still needs your help!
Captain America and the Avengers can go straight to hell. And I don't mean that awesome kind of hell you see depicted in gross middle-aged paintings. No, I'm speaking of the special kind of hell where truly awful video games have to go for all eternity. Where they'll forever be torn apart by the tears and the shrieks of the damned children that had their weekends ruined from their terribleness. Captain America and the Avengers will have a special place waiting for it in that hell. Right next to my 10-year-old self that thought this pile of a game would be even a fraction as good as its awesome arcade game counterpart of the same name. Looking back though, even just a fraction would be a massive improvement over what we got. Make no mistake about it, the arcade version of Captain America and the Avengers is a seminal arcade beat-em-up that had a home in every mall arcade right next to the best of the genre. Sure, it's no X-Men arcade, but old Cap here had one hell of a good game on his hands. The main reason being that the game saw fit to let you actually use your superhero's individual superpowers as regular attacks, rather than making you lose health like the X-Men game or just about any other superhero game of the time. I always found it weird that games would punish you for wanting to use your superhero's superpower. I mean, that's kinda what they do. Captain America and the Avengers let you do just that as much as you wanted. Cap had his shield, Iron Man had his lasers, and the godly Nighthawk had arrows out the ass. Well, not really, but you get the idea. So how could all of this awesome go so wrong on the Super NES? I mean, besides the awesome fully voiced intro of the arcade game, there wasn't anything too overwhelming for home consoles at the time. And while the graphics sort of made it over without much fuss, it was the gameplay that somehow saw fit to be flushed right down the toilet. The super smooth action of the arcade had been turned into a sluggish punishment. Just making it across the screen was such a slow process that any sort of progress was so laborious that you felt completely fatigued after just one level. Here, look at the arcade version real quick again. Smooth as butter and completely awesome. Now compare that to the Super NES version here. Of course it doesn't look as good, and I can live with that. But the main thing being that the action is super choppy, way slower, and there are fewer enemies at any one time than in the arcade. This makes the game boring and tedious. It all comes together to make a thoroughly depressing beat-em-up for any kid expecting the fun and excitement of the arcade game like I did. So if you've never played Captain America and the Avengers, don't hesitate to do so. Just avoid the Super NES version like some sort of flesh-eating disease. Only the saddest of the sad have played through the entire Super NES game and come through to tell the tale. Now I just have to try to forget it all again.